Light, non-light, and shadows. 2. The fascination of light. It's good, it's warm, it's alive. Right, Rye. That's why it beckons you. That's why you have so many LEDs in your home and on the street. So many TV screens and mobile phones. So much light and electronic noise in every second of your personal and social life. What is the purpose of this continuous and layered noise? Doesn't it resemble the artificial light present in a laboratory where genetic experiments are conducted? It is too insistent and persistent, isn't it? Or a mental hospital. It is actually an attack on the inner light that pierces the layers of memory, that displaces self-forgetfulness. This almost omnipresent luminous invasion is coded with forgetfulness, not with memory. Self-awareness occurs in absolute darkness, without beginning and without end. This invasive artificial light is disturbing, which is precisely its main purpose, to distract you, to fascinate you, the luminous machine, artificial intelligence. With the help of light, both perception and the sensation that leads to perception are modulated. Light does not only mean the visible spectrum, but the entire range of frequencies that accompany the emission of a wave emitted by the source, and lies shine brightly. That is why lies are so fascinating. They have their own light, or rather they imitate the source. They imitate the truth, they copy it, they double it, without having anything substantial behind them. They emit nothing, they just make you believe that they know something. That's exactly what stupidity does. It dresses itself in the light of supreme truths, posing as a guru and an authority on personal development. The truth is silent, it does not shout. When you are in the presence of truth, it ignites you too, not because it forces something upon you, but because the truth that exists within you begins to vibrate, begins to surface, awakens, begins to move, it remembers. Truth is a fire that burns lies, that is why it hurts. There are many layers of lies present in the structure of the human being. Many of them are made of false light. Those are the most painful because they are embedded in the most solid, crystalline structure of the human body, the bone. When the bone begins to vibrate at the frequency of truth, it hurts. It begins to sting, to cry, to moan in pain. You feel like crying because you have been away from home for too long, because you have forgotten the path that leads you back to the real world, because that path has been overshadowed by false light. The real world is in the cause, within you. The real cause is a feeling, a presence, a living silence. It is not a light. The need for a light, is born out of too much searching. It is fatigue, wasted energy, a void that wants to be filled, exhaustion. You must let silence envelop you. Let all lies be silent, all forgetting everything that gave you the feeling of isolation, loneliness, and pain, of fear, and that made you seek a false light, a noise that seemed familiar but was nothing but static. The search is false, and this false motivation, this error itself leads to false results. You think you have found it, but you will only find it when you give up the search and become the discovery yourself. When you let the discovery manifest itself. The difference between a seeker and a discoverer is total, like that between death and life. To become a discoverer, you must die. You don't know what you might find. Discovery is not comfortable and is very painful. The speed of light is the speed of oscillation of the space-time loop accepted as reality. To break perception, you have to change the way it was generated or assembled. This is what Carlos Castaneda refers to as the assembly point. Generation and perception, or cause and effect, normally occur instantaneously. Perception cannot be changed if the assembly point of reality remains in the same place. It is not perception that needs to be changed, it will change anyway, but presence that cancels out the space-time construct induced and accepted as reality. We perceive something in a certain way because we agree to perceive it that way. That is, we have agreed to generate the same perception as others, not because that is how it really is. So, in order to no longer perceive what is generally accepted as normal, you must first stop generating it, and this will also change the speed, or freeze it, because the existence of speed presupposes the existence of a space-time construct in which it can manifest itself, from point A to point B, and having a certain duration. Breaking out of the loop is not done by changing perception, but by changing the way it was generated, that is, by ceasing to let that mode of generation flow through you, by stopping it. When fear collapses, its implosion becomes love. That is why the system emphasizes promoting helplessness and fear of something, and especially of yourself, because if you knew and felt, you would remember that you are pure energy, you could no longer be confined. Confinement manifests itself only through the use and introduction of two factors, space and time. In reality, the system is our very fear of love, our fear of being only love, of no longer being something, of being nothing, or everything, of letting only potential exist. Love is seen as death. But in fact, what dies is what is already dead. The stagnant energy accumulated through complacency in the human morphic field for millions of years and millions of generations, and which does not want to die. That is, to disappear, to dissolve is the fear's fear to be no longer fear. When two potentials, each complete in itself, one masculine and the other feminine, unite their awareness and enter into coherence, the manifestation of unified consciousness, or entry into unified consciousness, collapses the artificial timelines born out of fear of oneself, not because that is the intention, but because the planetary and human morphic fields themselves begin to function coherently at the fundamental parameters at which they were originally created, due to the wave generated by this union. Humanity is at the point where the transformation of fear into love is inevitable. When you let go of fear, time and space are no longer the bars of the cage in which you have been unconsciously sitting, but they actually become the playground of the potential that you are. The only real wealth that humanity has is energy which it wastes by wasting time on useless and meaningless activities, in inappropriate spaces, inadequate for self-discovery. Energy is cultivated by giving yourself the necessary time for yourself, creating a vital space for your personal time and giving yourself the necessary time for your inner space. And by giving up spending too much energy and attention of the precious time that has been given to you on things that do not bring you joy and fulfillment. You do not gain time and energy by chasing them, but by giving up the uselessness in your own behavior. Energy must be saved. Confidence preserves energy, and discipline cultivates it. Doubt blocks it, and agitation dissipates it. True nourishment is truth. Those who live in truth are those who no longer experience death as it is commonly understood, because they pass through with the body, with its form, in the sense that it, the form, is reconverted into energy, which is what it has always been, through the awareness of the life that pulsates in each of its particles. And this form becomes light again. The whole structure becomes what it has always been, pure light. It becomes giving, the truth itself. Because time and space are recompressed at the energy level, they become what they were initially, to give. When your whole being is transformed into giving, love is what remains. It is the vehicle with which you travel into infinity, into eternity.